Listen up, because what we're about to dive into isn't for the faint-hearted or the passive spectators of life. You're here because you're not just average. You don't want to drift through relationships, blindly accepting the pain, confusion, and questions that infidelity brings. You're here to dig deeper. If you've ever been betrayed, or even if you've been the one struggling with temptation, this is your chance to look yourself in the mirror and ask the questions most people are too afraid to ask. I dare you to stay in this room, lock the door, shut out every distraction, and open yourself to a transformation that could change every relationship you ever have. Imagine if we could unravel the psychology of cheating. What if we could get into the minds of people who stray? Why do they risk it all? You might think infidelity is just about thrill or opportunity, but trust me, there's so much more below the surface. And once you understand it, you'll be able to see patterns in yourself, in others, that you've never seen before. I remember a friend who went through the agony of discovering his partner had cheated, and the aftermath was a storm of anger, heartbreak, and shame. But here's what changed everything. Instead of becoming consumed by bitterness, he chose to understand it. He looked into the psychology of infidelity, and he realized that understanding the root cause was his only way forward. You could see his mindset transform as he learned about the factors that drive people to cheat, not to justify it, but to see the bigger picture. He emerged stronger with a level of emotional clarity most people never achieve. So let's dive deep into why people cheat. You might see some reasons you'd never expect, but each one sheds light on the complexities of human emotions and relationships. Number 1, the need for novelty. The thrill of something new can be incredibly appealing, especially when someone feels like their life or relationship has become monotonous. Human brains are wired to crave novelty, a trait that can manifest as a drive to seek new experiences. When a relationship feels too routine, or if someone finds themselves stuck in a predictable life pattern, they may feel a strong urge for adventure. This desire for novelty releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter linked to pleasure and reward. In relationships, this might mean that they start seeking the thrill of new interactions, new conversations, and eventually a new person. It's a bit like pressing a reset button, but the temporary rush often comes at a high emotional cost. Number 2, unmet emotional needs. Emotional fulfillment is fundamental to a healthy relationship. When people don't feel emotionally connected to their partner, they may unconsciously seek this connection elsewhere. Imagine a partner who feels unsupported, unheard, or misunderstood in their relationship. Over time, these feelings create a void, leading them to look for someone who will fulfill those unaddressed needs. Whether it's through conversation, shared interests, or emotional comfort, infidelity sometimes fills the gaps left by their primary relationship. Recognizing signs of emotional unfulfillment early on could help couples communicate better and address their needs before things escalate. Number 3, desire for validation. For many, feeling desirable and appreciated is key to their self-esteem. In relationships, if one partner feels ignored, undervalued, or unappreciated, they might seek that validation from someone else. This need for external approval can be especially compelling for those struggling with self-worth. Imagine someone feeling unattractive or unworthy in their primary relationship. An outside interest can suddenly make them feel seen, valued, and even special. It's a powerful psychological drive, one that, when left unchecked, can lead to behaviors that undermine trust and loyalty. Validation from others is often a temporary fix, but can create lasting damage in committed relationships. Number 4, avoiding intimacy or commitment. Not everyone who enters a relationship is ready for the deep level of intimacy and commitment it requires. For some, the idea of being truly vulnerable with one person can feel uncomfortable, if not downright frightening. Cheating, in these cases, becomes a way of keeping emotional distance. By having multiple relationships, they avoid investing too deeply in any single one. This fear of closeness or commitment might stem from past relationship experiences, personal insecurities, or unresolved issues. By not fully committing, they shield themselves from potential heartbreak, but ironically, they often end up causing the same in their partners. Number 5, low self-control and impulsivity. Some individuals are more impulsive than others, often acting without thinking of a long-term impact of their choices. For them, temptation can be hard to resist, and they may find themselves drawn to risky behaviors without fully considering the potential consequences. This impulsivity might be part of their personality or could even be linked to conditions like ADHD, where self-control can be particularly challenging. Cheating, in this case, isn't always premeditated but can stem from a moment of weakness or lack of foresight. Unfortunately, even brief lapses in judgment can lead to significant relationship harm. Number 6, a way to escape problems. When people are facing significant challenges in their lives, whether personal, professional, or within their relationships, they may see infidelity as a form of escape. Relationships come with their own unique set of struggles, and if those issues go unresolved, a person may seek relief outside the relationship. For instance, someone dealing with constant arguments, financial stress, or incompatible goals with their partner might find solace in the temporary distraction of a new relationship. They might feel that this escape allows them to momentarily avoid the responsibilities or emotional strain that's weighing on them. Unfortunately, this often leads to an even greater breakdown in trust and communication. Number 7, opportunity. Sometimes infidelity happens simply because the opportunity presents itself. When people find themselves in an environment where temptation is high and accountability is low, like during a business trip, at a party, or in a social circle where their partner isn't present, the barriers to cheating feel lessened. In these situations, the environment itself can be a major factor, influencing individuals who might otherwise never consider infidelity. The presence of an opportunity can override rational thinking, and this is particularly true if they are already feeling unfulfilled or disconnected. It's a reminder of how much our surroundings can affect our decisions, often steering us toward choices that under normal circumstances we might resist. Number 8, cultural or social influence. In certain cultures or social circles, infidelity can be either accepted or even normalized. For example, if someone is surrounded by friends or colleagues who cheat, they may begin to view infidelity as a common or even harmless behavior. In such environments, a person might rationalize cheating with thoughts like, "Everyone else does it, so why shouldn't I?" This normalization can have a powerful impact on their behavior. It's a psychological phenomenon known as social proof, where people look to others' actions to gauge acceptable behavior. When infidelity is viewed as a cultural or social norm, individuals may feel less guilty about it, adopting the mindset that it's simply how things are. Number 9, poor relationship skills. Not everyone enters a relationship with the tools needed to navigate challenges or communicate effectively. Some people have never learned how to resolve conflicts, express their needs, or keep a relationship emotionally and physically fulfilling. When they face relationship difficulties, they may feel ill-equipped to address them constructively. Rather than having tough conversations, seeking compromise, or working through boredom or conflict, they may choose infidelity as a shortcut, a temporary fix to complex issues they don't know how to handle. This lack of relationship skills can be deeply damaging, as it leads to choices that create lasting harm rather than building resilience or closeness within the partnership. Number 10, fear of losing independence. For some, the idea of commitment is linked to a fear of losing one's sense of self or personal freedom. Relationships often require a level of interdependence, where partners share responsibilities, decisions, and lives. However, for those who fear being tied down or losing their autonomy, this closeness can feel restrictive. Cheating, in this case, becomes a way for them to reclaim a sense of freedom, even if it means damaging their relationship. By engaging in infidelity, they feel they can prove to themselves that they're still independent and in control. Ironically, this behavior can often lead to guilt and regret, as the temporary freedom it brings usually results in even greater emotional and relational constraints. Number 11, narcissism or a sense of entitlement. In cases where narcissism or a strong sense of entitlement is at play, individuals may feel they are above the usual moral or social expectations. Narcissistic individuals tend to prioritize their own needs and desires over the well-being of others, often lacking empathy or regard for the feelings of those close to them. For them, cheating can be seen as something they deserve or are entitled to, simply because they value their happiness and gratification above all else. This mindset can justify actions that most would find morally wrong. Narcissistic individuals often view their relationships as a means to their personal happiness, rather than as partnerships built on mutual respect, which leads them to justify infidelity as their right to pursue whatever makes them feel fulfilled. Are you willing to face these truths and dig into what's beneath the surface? To not just understand why people cheat, but to recognize any tendencies within yourself that could hurt you or others? It's tempting to stay on the surface, to blame, or to feel victimized, but you're here because you want to transform not just yourself, but your relationships too. You're here to stop being reactive and start being aware. I'm inviting you to go on this journey with me. This isn't about judging or justifying cheating. It's about understanding the psychology behind it so that you can build relationships that stand strong. Knowledge is power, and by understanding the drivers behind infidelity, you can empower yourself to build a love that lasts. So if you're ready, let's unlock this door, look deep into the reasons behind infidelity, and turn knowledge into power. You have the courage to do this, and trust me, you're not alone. If you're serious about protecting yourself and understanding the powerful dynamics of dark psychology and manipulation, I invite you to explore our curated dark psychology playlist. In these videos, we dive deep into the techniques that others might use and equip you with the insights needed to recognize, counter, and safeguard yourself from manipulation in any form. Master these skills and you'll be prepared to navigate any situation with confidence and clarity. Check out the playlist and take the first step toward mastering your own psychology and strengthening your defenses.